Legion, it's Hadrian. Thank you for being here. The moment is finally upon us. It's time for a new series in surviving Mars. This one ominously titled Shadow of Elysium. I've been crazily excited for this series as this is my first time playing the game in one of the channel's main time slots, and I've been talking about it for a while. New episodes are going to be daily at 4 p.m. US Eastern Time, and we're going to shoot for a 40-episode series, with the caveat that we're going to extend it if we're having a really good time. So if we don't make it, or if we just have an absolutely horrible start within the first 10 episodes, we will restart, but only within those first 10, which means if the colony fails after that, it's going to be game over. This is going to be mainly a sandbox run, and I'm saying that because of lessons that I learned during the last series that I did on the channel for Surviving Mars, and actually the first series for Surviving Mars ever, which means mysteries will be off, as will custom rules. That's what I mean by sandbox run. So you might be wondering, if you're going to turn off mysteries and custom rules, where are we going to challenge ourselves? Well, Shadow of Elysium is not just a catchy title. We're going to be founding a research colony on the frosty slopes of Elysium Mons. The backstory for this campaign is that the age of Mars colonization has begun, and the European Space Agency has decided to put humans near Mars polar caps for more intensive research purposes. Which means that in this series, unlike the last one, cold waves are going to be a constant threat, and dust storms may also prove problematic as well. So this is the basic setup we're going to go with. We are going to go with Europe as the mission sponsor. We'll go with an inventor for the commander profile. We're going to go with Serenity because I thought that was kind of sciencey. And then, as I mentioned, no mysteries. Game rules were added 2 updates ago in the Opportunity update. And this allows you to just kind of add a bunch of bonuses or penalties to make the game more interesting without actually adding a mystery, which is kind of a side story. So I wanted to set the game up this way because I haven't actually built a large-scale colony since the last updates dropped. There have been not 1, not 2, but 3 major updates to Surviving Mars that have added a lot of content. And if you haven't played the game or seen it played on the channel or on any channels since then, since around the time it launched, you're in for a treat. That's part of the reason I'm excited to do a new series. There's a lot to get into, which is exactly why we're sandboxing it and not focusing on side story. With that last series that I did, I found that the mysteries were a little bit distracting when I was still learning some of the aspects of the game, and while I'm more familiar with the base aspects, there's lots of new stuff that I still haven't messed with too much. So since this is our first time playing together in a while, we're going to limit the distractions to the environmental challenges themselves, the cold waves and the dust storms and all that, rather than creating side story. So the basic idea, again, is that the European Space Agency, which is a little bit different from Space-Y, we have the same amount of starting funding, but twice as much starting research, which is pretty nice. And then also we get a little bit more money for our rare metal exports, assuming that's something we can do early on. We're going to have to see. I have noticed in my playthroughs that it seems to be a little bit tougher to find rare metals in a lot of the zones that I've started. Maybe that's just me, but that's been an interesting observation that I've had so far. We have 100 starting applicants, which is a little bit more than Space-Y gets. And also, we have 5 extra starting technologies, which is lovely. And we get funding every time a tech is researched as well. Double funding if it's a breakthrough tech. That's pretty cool. So we're going to go with that. And because this is a research-based kind of operation, this is a science colony, we are going to go with the inventor commander profile, which means that drones are going to be gradually optimized to work and construct faster until Sol 100, day 100. And autonomous hubs will be automatically unlocked at the start of the game, so drone hubs will not require power or maintenance, which frankly is a really nice thing to have because that is one of the main drains on electronics in the early game. And like I was just saying, it can be tough to get those rare minerals, and you need those in order to make electronics, and you can really get yourself in trouble if you don't have autonomy set up with regard to electronics. So having that bonus from the get-go should be helpful. We're going with Serenity again because I just thought it was a suitable logo for the mission of the colony. Mystery none and no game rules selected. Let's go ahead and set so it looks like Ariane is our first rocket. I'll stick with that. We could rename it if we wanted to, but I'm happy with it. The default is a drone hub, a vaporator, which could be handy since we don't have... I normally do the Hydro Engineer, or at least I've done that one a lot. I wouldn't say I normally do it anymore, but when I was first learning Surviving Mars, and I think in the first series, we did Hydro Engineer so that we could see where the water deposits were. Now we have to find them, and if we happen to land in a spot where there's not water nearby, then that could be problematic. So a vaporator on board could be a good thing. Fuel refinery... Okay, that's good. We're going to have that automatically from the get-go. And then, of course, we're going to have to order these before long because our first colonists are going to need to be producing At the very least, machine parts and polymers, if we're lucky, also electronics. But that's a lot to ask the founders to do. They probably won't be able to do all that. We also have, oh, interesting. So the ESA's setup, Europe's setup, has the RC Explorer as an initial send. Do I like that? I kind of, you know what, I think I like that. Normally see, having the transport there immediately to get metal right away is, yeah, I'm gonna do that. We're gonna put the transport in place. That'll save us a little bit of money initially too. Not a lot, but that's just kind of an on-the-fly decision there, thinking about that. We'll order an RC Explorer right away as soon as the game starts on our second rocket, but we're not going to... I want the one that lands to have the transport so that I can gather metal. And then I think 3 orbital probes and that distribution of starting resources should be just fine. I can probably lower the electronics, to be honest, but we will be building some things that require electronics as maintenance, so maybe having 10 will be a good buffer. Let's go to next. And I think I decided upon, check this out, we're going to look at 28 north, 147 east. So it's the northern slopes of Elysium Mons. And what this means is we have decent metals, not a lot. So finding rare metals could be a little tough. That's part of the challenge of this. We have a good amount of concrete and a good amount of water. And then dust storms and cold waves are rather threatening. Dust devils and meteors, not so much. But definitely dust storms and cold waves. So there's going to be some challenges to having a colony set up in the shadow of Elysium. So that's where we're going to start our colony. And actually, I have not at all, I've kind of piddled around the area and done a few experimental starts, but I picked this location based on the resources and threat information, but I haven't played at this location before. So we're going to have to see how it starts us off. Let's get going. So excited. It's been so long since I've actually played this on the channel that I've been wanting to for a long time. Okay, welcome to Mars, Commander. It is time to... Oh, hello. Okay, where are we here? Did we not start with an area scanned? I mean, I know I can see over here. Oh, right there. Of course, this one. It just doesn't look scanned because... So we do know where some water is. That's it just doesn't look scanned because of all the white in the area. It's just... I can't tell that it's a lighter tile or a darker tile. When you have a scan tile, they're slightly different colors, so you can see which one has been revealed, but that's a little bit tougher to spot. We'll tell you what, let's go ahead and launch our probes in the area. It looks like we are starting with some concrete and water, which is nice. The water's in some ice, so that's going to mean extracting water from that deposit will be somewhat problematic. This is all cold terrain. I would rather scout out the warm terrain nearby. Okay, we've got a research anomaly. What else? Metals and another research anomaly. Okay, so pretty good start resource-wise. I would really like to find some rare metals. That would be ideal. Let's see if we can find some... Okay, no luck. I'm going to start by scanning the areas where... I think you can go... Yeah, you can go all the way up to 9 now. I'm going to start by scanning the areas where I'm going to be able to build things that maybe aren't so... that aren't going to be impacted by the cold. Actually, with that in mind, let's go the opposite direction. All right, so we've got a good amount of concrete. Which of these is the best deposit to start with? Hello, 1,476. I'll take it. And it's fairly close by. The only thing to starting there, that's not necessarily a problem. We could kind of land in this area and have a centralized power production area here. I don't want to surround my power production with concrete deposits, but let's go ahead and pick our landing location. And then we'll start deciding how we're going to lay this initial colony out. Also, I still have to pick my initial research decisions before I unpause here. Looking at where the metal is. Also, are those polymers? Yeah, there's some polymers nearby. Not bad. There's a couple of... Wow. This might be the first time I've started with 5 polymers, like, revealed. Or at least the first time that I can remember. It's been a while. Alright, let's go ahead and land in range of... those. Don't want to overlap the deposit. Now, again, we're going to have to set up a drone hub in order to get over to this deposit. How much is in this one? That's pretty good, too. we have lots of concrete to choose from, so I'm really just trying to optimize for a second. Let's see, if we go here, we're going to be in range of the water deposit, and we can start extracting from that if we want to, or we can wait and just use the vaporators to get started, which could be handy. Don't want to overlap the deposit at all. All right, let's land there. And before we actually... I've already selected a sector to scan, but I need tech research. Yeah, I was hoping drone swarm would be one of my first options, and it usually is. We're going to go for this first, because if I wait, I will get an additional 2 drones when I build my first drone hub. So we're going to do that, absolutely. And then how about... I like the idea of a funding boost, but we're going to get a funding boost every time we research, so I don't need to focus as much on that, do I? I like the idea of having faster drones, but I don't necessarily want to research 2 robotics techs right away. Tell you what, let's go ahead and do the crowdfunding, just because it's a social technology and will give us a new option in this branch. And then oxygen production increased by 50. Sure, why not? Let's go ahead and get that started early on. And then I would like to outsource a little bit to begin here, just to up our initial research. We have 400 research per sol right now, so per day, that's how much research we're generating, and this is how much our first projects cost. If we outsource, I'm hitting 1 on my keyboard now, so I'm selecting the first option. Let's say, there we go. Outsourced 3 times, so used a total of 600 million funding there, but now we have 1,000 research per sol for the first 5 days or so. No, don't want to do any more. We're good. All right, moment of truth. Let's go ahead and get this thing landed. Interesting environment. I wasn't expecting the high mountain ridge. And look at this. Look at this platform. It just, I knew it was there, but it looks different from that perspective. All right, so we found some, we have these anomalies. That notification is still on the screen. I can clear that, honestly. Clear both of those. All right, so now that we've landed, let's go ahead and set up a few things that are going to be kind of important. Slightly important for the growth of the colony. Let's see, I know, too far from Rook and Drone Commander. How far away can I do this? Pause for a moment. I don't want to have them... I guess I can put them like right smack dab in the middle. I just don't want to have them too close to where the extractor is going to be working, because that will... they'll get dusty, essentially. That's how it works. So why don't we... We're gonna eventually have a drone commander in this area. I'm going to lay down just a few solar panels and then wind turbines opposite those. We're going to run a power cable down the middle, and that might be enough for initial power generation. Probably put the drone commander right next to these there. So tell you what, why don't we go ahead and do a little partition here so I can remind myself that I'm getting ready for a drone hub there. And then a power accumulator isn't necessary yet. We don't have concrete production. Let's go ahead and lay down... Yeah, see, that's the thing. If I want concrete right away, maybe I need to go ahead and get this one running. Let's do that. It's a tiny deposit. Eventually we'll have that one going. But this one's near the rocket, so we'll go with that instead. When you're playing Surviving Mars, you want to have your extractors as far away from other buildings as possible, because they generate dust and increase your maintenance requirements, which is, you know, all kinds of problematic. You don't want to have to deal with that. There we go. All right, now I do have to build a few depots as well. Let's go ahead and get that going, and then I can get the RC transport on a job. We are going to wait to build this drone hub until that first tech is done researching. An important step, for sure. Depots. We could do some here. I don't mind having a depot over here. Let's do a universal depot there. Concrete depot a little bit closer. And then the all-important initial metals depot will be right there. Now that I have that down, you gather from this area metals, and I want you to unload right there. And before we do anything else, we are going to order a cargo rocket. Do I want to go all in and go ahead and order the electronics factory now, or do I want to wait? We're going to get funding from every research project, so there's not necessarily a... Yeah, we're also going to go for that funding research tech fairly soon, so let's go ahead and order those and have those planet side, even though it's kind of early. And then we definitely want an RC Explorer, finally. And then we need an RC Rover as well. And as expected, that is all we can carry on that rocket. All right, it's on the way. We're going to go up to speed 3, as is fairly common in surviving Mars, because this is what speed 1 looks like. This is normal movement speed, at least without any kind of upgrades. So it's nice for watching the colony when you want to relax and appreciate what you built, but when you're getting the colony started in the beginning, it's kind of it's kind of slow. So again, the game has been updated 3 different times since the last time you saw it on the channel. We've had the Curiosity update, which is the most recent, and then the Opportunity update, which is where they added those game rules, and then the Spirit update, which the Spirit update was the first of the 3, of course, and that was one of the great things about the Spirit update was that it fixed a lot of the silliness, particularly with the colonist AI in the original release of the game. Also, rover pathfinding was improved in that update, and a bunch of other things, just a lot of refinements. But then the Opportunity update added passages between domes, because it was really weird for a lot of folks. The development team's vision for surviving Mars, and they were very open about this, was, they had just decided initially as a team, well, we want to see all of these domes as kind of separate communities that all have their own kind of ecosystems, whereas I think the vast majority of end users actually playing the game kind of felt like, it's a colony, that they should all be interconnected and be able to move between, movement between domes should be easier and more normative than it is in this vision. And so they added passageways where you literally have tunnels with speed walkways, whatever you want to call them, speedways, in between domes, which is really, really cool, and we'll see that soon. And then the Curiosity update added some new dome types, added the command center and the info bar up here, which was originally something you needed to have a mod to have any kind of information displayed on the screen. So being able to just look at a glance at our resources here, rather than pulling up menus constantly, which you might recall from Nova Roma, it's a lot better. So, all right, right now we are just waiting for this. Okay, looks like you're already done. Seriously? I'll tell you what, you gather these polymers then. How about that? And just unload over here. I guess there wasn't that much metal. Well, there was, but I thought there was more than one deposit in the area, but there are some over here. Okay, good. Drone swarm is done, and the sun's about to come up, so that's good timing. Sol 2 is about to begin. Let's go ahead and pop this drone hub in place right there. I'm going to put it on high priority so that all the drones come over and work on that. There are a few drones that need to be recharged, which reminds me, maybe a good idea to go ahead and get some recharge stations set up. Let's put a few there. And also some sensor towers. I know, not enough power. We'll get by. I have yet to have any concrete produced, which is the main reason that we're still waiting on this. So once the drone hub goes up, things should become a little bit more lively. With drone swarm being done, what are we looking at now? Ooh. Let's go ahead and get Explorer AI out in front before Mars crowdfunding, because with that one having been unlocked, that's 100 more research per sol for each RC Explorer, and we have an RC Explorer that's about to land right now. Yay. Let's see. You are... I know it overlaps deposit, but it's not going to be there forever. So we're going to land right next to that rocket. There are also landing pads that you can build now, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to worry about, just creating a new black mark on the ground every time you want to land a rocket. Okay, so now we can actually do stuff with these anomalies. And then our RC rover just has 4 drones on it at the moment. I'm going to plop it right smack dab in the middle of this area where so much is being built. Having 4 more drones working that area could be handy. They won't quite be able to get over to that particular area, that concrete deposit that I want to get to next. But this is a good one to start. Alright, so this anomaly is about 50% of the way done, and that should finish off Explorer AI almost immediately and then take a chunk out of Mars crowdfunding as well. Always good to have technologies queued up so that you don't waste opportunities like that. They might have fixed it to where overflow gets automatically allocated to the next technology, but in the first edition of Surviving Mars, it was not automatic. And it might still not be. They might still punish you in that way. All right, Explorer AI is done, as promised. Let's see, how close are we to finishing our next one, though? Still not very close. I thought we would take a bigger chunk than that, but okay. I do want to go ahead and research engineering, not so much because, I mean, having decommission protocol early is nice, but I just want to have another technology unlocked up here. And then same for physics. Let's go ahead and get that queued up, the extractor amplification process, for the purpose of just giving ourselves another technology option. Why are there so few drones in this drone hub? I thought I researched... Oh, yeah, that's right. We're not playing as Space Y. Okay. I decided to go with Europe as my primary, you know, as my sponsor for this mission. But in a lot of my practice play, I was playing as Space Y, and I'm used to having more drones. But that's fair. I'll just add a little bit more challenge. Bring it on. All right, so we have a new anomaly, a couple of new anomalies, actually. I still need to get this one scanned, and then we have... I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and scan this one first, so we can unlock some new options. That's what that'll do. And then we'll scan that one, because we might want to put the tech from that into an option that we gain from this. Tell you what, let's go ahead and throw down some additional solar panels. And where should we put... Should accumulators just go here, you think? It's fairly aesthetically pleasing. Sure, let's put it there. Our first accumulator, just so that power can keep going during the night. Sol 3 has just started, and we really need to get... I'm going to go ahead and tell the drones to get on this concrete extractor. Damn it. Because they're taking their sweet time. And I would like to have concrete running before the end of the first episode, please and thank you. I have noticed it's a little bit slower to get some of those basic things going. Maybe it's just because I'm playing on different zone types than I initially was looking for when I was a brand new player and was trying to keep things super straightforward for myself. All right, new techs available. Live from Mars and systematic training. So the 2 new social techs. Those aren't that great. But okay. So now we can go ahead and scan that anomaly. And my transport rover now needs something new to do. Let's see where we have some resources. We've got 88 metal there. 10 metal here. We can probably clear out that deposit pretty quickly. Or you know what? Hang on. Can my drones do it? I bet you the drones can reach that. Yeah, they can, and they're already doing it. So we'll let the drones take care of that. On the other hand, this is where there's a lot of metal laying around. So let's have the RC transport. He is going to be transporting from a cold area, so his battery's going to drain a lot faster. But worth the risk. Get on it, buddy. Alright, come on, concrete extractor. I've got the metal. We prioritized you. What are you doing, guys? Need you to get this thing built. Okay, good. Now they're bringing the last 2. There's 1 and 2. Mars crowdfunding is done. Good. So we have 3 billion in funding right now. But because we did that, we also unlocked Hello Earth-Mars Initiative. Yep, that's another research boost. A little bit more expensive to research that, but since we have the crowdsourcing or the outsourced research set up right now, I want to take advantage of that. That's for another 2 days. Or so. Alright, good. So we should be very close now to having that done, since we just got another 1,000 research from that anomaly we looked at. And are there more anomalies to check out? No, there aren't. So we're going to bring the rover back that direction. So I just want to see what it sounded like, but it's not particularly loud, is it? Not particularly loud. Oh, good! We actually have concrete production working, which means we can start getting our wind turbines up and running, thank God. That reminds me, since we have concrete production going, it will be a good idea to go ahead and get a dumping site. Or 2 or 3. Oh, it's blocked by something. By that rock, I guess? Oh, by the by the waste rock that I need to move onto the waste rock piles. Okay, well, we'll come back to that in a moment. Because I would like to build that third one, just so there's plenty of room for waste rock from this initial concrete extractor. Wouldn't it be nice to have that tech early on that allows you to convert waste rock to concrete? I did get it early on. It's a breakthrough, I think, but I got it early on in one playthrough. It was pretty nice. It was a while ago, though. As I mentioned, it has been an age since I have played this extensively. I'm excited to be getting back to it. Alright, good. We still aren't fully powered up. I need this drone to do its thing. There we go. Alright, and then once we have the power accumulator built, which just needs one more concrete to finish, we'll be in better shape. How are we doing resource-wise? We're already running low on electronics and machine parts, so I'll probably need to order a bonus shipment of those, as I usually do, fairly soon. I could go ahead and do it now, just so it's not an issue. We have plenty of rockets. Good. Earth-Mars initiative is done. That also unlocked Martian education, which unlocked the Martian University. Pretty nice. I think, though, yeah, systematic training is something I would like to have queued up before long, but we don't need it just yet. Yeah, let's go ahead and have low-G drive added, so that we have faster drones. Speaking of drone speed, and the RC transport can also be upgraded to gather faster, but I'll get to that in a moment. Might not want to go for that as soon. No new anomalies to scan. Anything else to build in the meantime? I think they did, you know, come to think of it, I did get a moisture evaporator sent along, so I can go ahead and start producing water and fuel. Let's see, what would be the... Let's go ahead and get some pipes going. Now I'll just have that set up. I'm trying to centralize everything as much as possible so that, like, this area, like, is eventually going to have a heat, what's it called? I don't actually have the option yet, which is a little worrying. It's a physics technology. It's subterranean heater. I forget the exact terminology, but it keeps things warm when cold waves hit, and we're going to need everything kind of condensed to make sure that that can happen. So yeah, let's go ahead and put the vaporator in place. Let's put it there. And then we need a water tower right next to it. And we do need to produce some oxygen. Kind of important if you want to have colonists, in my experience. It's something they tend to value. Alright, so we've got an oxygen tank for the oxygen produced by the Moxie. Right, vaporator's running, and we are getting the tower up and running now as well. Very good. Oh, battery on this guy is pretty low. You need to come back home right now. I'm probably going to need to use a... Yeah, he's not going to make it out of the cold. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. We're going to need to send the RC Explorer to help him out. And... oh, is he? I think he might make it. Hang on. Come on, buddy. Ah, dang, he ran out. Oh, that was almost beautiful. Now we're going to transfer power from the RC rover, or the RC Explorer, and that'll make things better. Alright, that's enough. Still haven't discovered any more anomalies just yet. Alright, so we've got the Vaporator running, and let's see. Just had to make a note of something real quick there. Yeah, see? Passages. It's pretty awesome they added that. We're not going to get our initial dome built this episode. That's probably going to be in the next one, but just making sure there's nothing else. We already added the recharge stations for drones, so we're good there. Alright, so in terms of overall vision for this colony, I would like to get a few more scans done. That one's almost done, and then we need to scan these areas here. Those are going to scan pretty quickly thanks to the presence of the scanning towers. Well, actually, the scanning towers are here. New anomaly found. What do we have? Hey, that could be good. Let's go scan that thing and see what it is. Alright, low G drive has been researched, so drones are now faster, and rovers. Alright, let's load resources, metals from this area. Since we've discovered that it's so rich, we're going to unload in this area. And then where is our RC rover? Yep, right where I need him to be. Power production seems to be pretty good at the moment. Also, I have more than enough concrete to go ahead. Tell you what, let's have our second pair of wind turbines built. And I wouldn't mind having a secondary power accumulator already up as well. For when that first disaster hits. Let's maintain our efficiency as much as possible. Oh yeah, that's right. We're going to need to run some power cables along that new area there. So this deposit is not particularly large. We're going to have this be one of our concrete deposits. We could potentially do a second one. Hey! Our initial spectrographic analysis confirmed it. Chromium. To find such a rich deposit of such a rare metal, important was an understatement. The geological team couldn't wait to get their hands on the samples, but this was going to prevent the engineering team from smelting the materials for their ceaseless operations. The experts at Mission Control argued for hours, but the course of action was clear. So we can actually get a deep rare metals deposit right away, which we won't be able to exploit. Oh man, that is tough. That is, once we can research deep metals, we'll have rare metals right at the site of our initial colony, which could be really useful, but we won't have access to them right away. Or we can get 10% engineering research boost going forward. You know what? I think the rare metals deposit is ultimately going to be more valuable. That's right over there. So it's not as close to our, main colony as, I might have hoped. It's over here at this anomaly site. But at the same time, by the time we are at the point where we can get rare metals out of the ground... Oh, hang on. That's ugly. When we're at that point, we will be able to have colonists over there to work it easily. We will try and kind of build the colony in this direction with that in mind. This is part of the dry area, too, that's not icy, so that makes sense from a couple of different perspectives. Hey, 2 new anomalies found. We've got a few more things to do here, then I need to wrap this first episode up. Let's see, why don't we see what this anomaly is? Because this could also be pretty important. It's the same type as the one we just looked at. And then this will unlock new technologies. That'll be a nice note to end on, I think. And how we doing research-wise? It's so nice to be able to see the progress up here on research at all times. Magnetic filtering is almost done. That's handy. Yeah, I think I may... Yeah, I'll let those 2 projects go, but we definitely want systematic training added. And then Sector H6, we did have some water here, but it is also in the ice. So far, we're finding water in frozen areas that's going to be kind of tough to extract. our moisture vaporator is doing a good job for now. $700 rare metals. It's decent. Anomaly? Oh, seriously? Alright, the RC Explorer's malfunctioned. It has to be repaired by drones. I was worried about that. It can sometimes happen. I'll tell you what, let's send the RC rover out here to repair that. And then we're going to get those technologies as promised. Oh, the drones are actually coming out here. Never mind. Never mind. Go back. Go back. It's taken care of. The AI is doing its job. Good work. Let's head over here to check out this anomaly. This is going to be kind of tough. Yeah. I might have to recall this guy before he's done scanning this. That would be my guess. I know, the vehicle's got low power. He's actually, I think he's going to be able to do it. As long as I can get him out of the ice with the remaining battery power, he should be able to get back to base. And if not, we can recharge like we did earlier. Not a huge issue. Alright, so we're okay on our advanced resources for now. It might be time to... I mean, definitely when we start the next episode, we're going to be thinking about where to place our first dome, for sure. Alright, so with that being done, let's get you the heck out of here. Alright, so you are out of the cold, and now I can send you... as you drive back into the cold. Good job, idiot. That was the battery life that you needed to get home. Hopefully you'll still make it. Actually, I think he will. Bingo! At just the last second. Okay, let's pause and see which techs we have unlocked. Autonomous sensors. Hey, that's actually something that I want to probably get added like right away. So I'll keep decommission protocol at the top because that's almost done. But then autonomous sensors will be next, and that will not only free up a little bit of power, but they will no longer need maintenance, which right now, maintenance I think for sensor towers requires... oh, it just requires metal. For some reason I thought those required electronics. But again, we don't have to worry about maintenance on drone hubs because of the specialist type that we selected when we started off this particular series. So that's nice too, because we don't have as much of a drain on our electronics, which will take a little bit of pressure off until we can get any rare metals in the area. We haven't found any apart from the deep deposit, which is useless until we have that technology. But we're on the way. And like I was about to say, in the beginning of the next episode, we're going to make a decision as far as where to place our first dome and get that ready for our colonists now that we have some oxygen stored as well as some water. We might also want to go ahead and get this underground water deposit with an extractor on it so that we are actually producing water from a more reliable source than a moisture vaporator. But that's in the frozen cold part of the earth though. So the issue with that is anything we put around this is going to draw more power, a lot more power in fact, 60% more power from our power grid than the building typically would. So we'll have to pay attention to that as well. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this first episode, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. As I mentioned, new episodes are coming out every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.